This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Hour number 2, Tuesday, August 19th, right here on Jocks. He's going to join us every week at this hour, at this time, to discuss everything Auburn. And we've been talking a lot of Jackson Arnold. We've heard from Hugh Freeze. We'll ask Andy Burcham about some of that conversation from last night. And he's with us every week thanks to our friends at Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
The voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, on Mac and Cube in the morning is brought to you by Craneworks. Lifted, buy and rented, the big dog's got it. Now, Andy Burcham.
Andy, we were just commenting on one of your questions to Hugh Freeze last night about playing 3 quarterbacks potentially against Baylor. I'm not sure exactly where most Auburn fans' comfort level would be with that or how that would have to happen. What did you take from his answer when you asked him that question?
Oh, we started talking about Jackson Arnold and his development, and I think that Coach Freeze likes where Jackson is. He talked about the abilities, the capabilities of both Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight. And I asked the question, could all 3 play in the game on Saturday? Or, next Friday, the 29th. And he said, yes. I don't. Now, listen, I'm not going to try and put words in Coach Freeze's mouth. I don't think he was talking about a rotation of these guys. I don't think he was talking about, one series you're going to see Jackson, the next series you'll see Deuce, the next series you'll see Ashton. I don't believe that was the case. But I believe that there were some opportunities that he would feel comfortable putting both Deuce and Ashton in the game, obviously after Jackson gets the start. I can understand the reaction from some folks. I'm not sure that was the intent of the head coach on Tiger Talk last night, however.
Understandable, but when you look at the quarterback and the importance of the quarterback this year, knowing the challenges of last year and the inconsistency we saw from that spot, how important is it to really come out if you're Hugh Freeze and say, this is our guy, doesn't matter what happens, we're sticking with him, he's going to take us where we want to go? And whether it's an authentic endorsement or not, I feel like the messaging can be really valuable for a guy that at times has had some shaky confidence. Do you feel like that would be warranted to be emphatic in his praise of what Jackson's done to this point?
I don't think that's not the case right now. I don't think that was I don't believe that was a slap to Jackson last night. I think it was more of the confidence he has in both Ashton and Deuce if they need to play in a ball game. So I don't think there's any question that Jackson's the guy. I think he's been the guy since he stepped foot on campus. I don't think he's done anything that would warrant him not being QB1 at this point. And I didn't take that as the tone that Hugh Freeze was talking about last night. I think it was he likes that room. He likes the 3 guys that he has this year. QB1 is Jackson Arnold. I don't think there's been any wavering from that ever from the Auburn head coach.
Andy Burcham joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Going to be with us weekly thanks to our friends at Craneworks as we get set for Auburn Baylor to kick off in less than 2 weeks. What aspects are you hearing more positive things about through this time in camp that maybe you didn't expect to hear? Things that are going a little bit better than what you anticipated they would be?
If there is one aspect of this team that perhaps has been the pleasant surprise so far, I think it's Omar Mabson II. The freshman tailback from Auburn High School who declared early, not just declared a semester early, declared a semester and a half early. He would be a senior at Auburn High School this year. And I think they've liked what they have seen from him. So I think that's one aspect that has surprised folks in his development as a true freshman. I think Auburn has liked what it has seen from its defensive interior, because that was a question mark going in. You've got Falk and Crawford and Amaris Williams and Chris Murray and Jamonte Waller and Jared Smith, all those guys on the edge, but we didn't talk a lot about the middle two, at nose tackle and defensive tackle. I think they like what they have seen from those guys. I think they like the depth that they have seen from Bobby Jamison, Travis, and Malik Lockton, and Dallas Walker, and Jay Hardy, and Malik Autry, and Darian Smith, and Zykevis. Well, I think they like that depth. So I think that's one area that has moved forward, has given Auburn some more confidence in that defensive front this year.
It feels like that to me. I mean, some people have kind of panicked about the offensive line. I actually feel like it's more of an endorsement about a group that I'm hoping to take a step. I think the offensive line's going to be fine, but the defensive line, especially on the interior, was something that we've been kind of waiting for. So,
Sure.
Look, I know you can look at it. It's dependent, glass half full, glass half empty, whatever you want to look at it. But to me, having the defensive line be more disruptive than the offensive line being able to protect is probably a welcome sight this year, knowing the offensive line's likely a strength. Is that fair?
Last night on Tiger Talk, he talked about the offensive line and the fact that all of these guys are on draft boards, and that hasn't happened in quite some time. And you can add Tutal Miller to that list as well. Then he talked about in one-on-ones, especially with the tackles, guys like Keldrick Falk and Kieron Crawford have been very disruptive with Auburn's offensive tackles. And that's an area that he feels has to get better. On the other side, he said, even when that defensive front is penetrating the offensive line at this point, and this is the term that Coach used last night on Tiger Talk. They've got to cage the quarterback better than they have. So I mean, he likes this offensive line. He likes this defensive line. He's talked about where both of these teams, sides of the ball, have to continue to get better as Auburn gears up for that opener at Baylor on the 29th.
Andy Burcham.
I like the offensive line, guys. I like the fact that the middle three, Wade, Wright, and Luke, are there. That we're not seeing Dylan Wade having to bounce in and out from guard to tackle or maybe even at center so far. So I like this offensive front right now. Listen, I know we're a week and a half away from the opener at this point, and that's when we find out for sure about this group. But I like the potential of this offensive front.
I'm absolutely with you. I feel like it's going to be a strength of the team for the first time in a long time. Behind them at running back, it sounds like there are positives with multiple guys. Do you have any sense of the order or how carries may be distributed early in the season?
Yeah, I don't know about the number of carries and that. I think if there is a pecking order right now, guys, I think it's Damari Alston at 1, Jeremiah Cobb at 2, Darrell Robinson at 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Omar Mabson at some point. I think Alvin Henderson's been fighting some injuries, but I think in that order, Alston, Cobb, Robinson, and Mabson are the guys at this point. They like Alston. They like all facets of his game in pass blocking, in catching out of the backfield, how he runs the ball. I think Jeremiah Cobb probably has a different speed once he gets into the open field. I do think, and Hugh Freeze mentioned this last night on Tiger Talk, that he does think that Jeremiah Cobb takes a big step forward. I'm not saying he's a big step forward beyond Damari Alston, just takes a big step forward for Auburn. And then we'll see what Darrell Robinson. I mean, Darrell was not here, or he was here, but was injured during the spring, and so he's just getting his first action through preseason camp. And now with classes starting yesterday, they get into the routine of class and everyday practice at this point. So I think Alston, Cobb, Robinson, and Mabson in that order at this point.
Let's look at just kind of this week 1 game against Baylor. I know we're going to hit it again next week, but I don't think Cole and I can possibly build this one up anymore. The importance, the challenges, how big this game is for Baylor and frankly for the Big 12 as a whole. What's been the messaging from the staff to the team about Baylor, about the importance of starting fast and being at your best week 1, because anything less than that will potentially lead to a loss?
I think, and I can't speak to the message to the team because I'm not privy to that. But I think the message to everybody else, and we all know that the Hugh Freeze is pretty transparent with his thoughts. I think this is a huge game for Auburn. When you play this game and then you come home and you've got 2 games against Ball State and South Alabama, and then you start the gauntlet of the Southeastern Conference. And it starts with 2 straight games on the road at Oklahoma and A&M. Then you get the open date first or the second weekend. You have Georgia, then Missouri, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, before you get to the 22nd November and Mercer, and then, of course, the Iron Bowl on the 29th. I think for a confidence standpoint, I think for a momentum standpoint, I think it's an enormous game for this team right now. With all the questions that folks have about this Auburn team, I think this Auburn team wants to go out and prove a lot of people wrong. I mean, this is a game that both Auburn and Baylor are receiving votes, but are not in the top 25. I don't think that matters to these 2 teams. This is a huge game for both. Is it a do or die game? I'm not going to say that, because we've seen a lot of teams lose early and rebound and play well. But I think just from a confidence standpoint, from a momentum standpoint, I think this is an enormous game for Auburn. It's Auburn's first road game in an opener, true road game, where you're playing on an opponent's home field since 2002, when Auburn opened at USC. So this is just – Auburn has had those neutral site games down in Arlington and a couple in Atlanta, but this is the first time that Auburn has opened up at an opponent's home field since 2002.
It's going to be a fun one. Excited for you to be on the call for it. We'll get your thoughts on it next week when you join us, but we know each and every week, Andy, you're going to be joining us thanks to our friends at CraneWorks.
And CraneWorks is the most trusted name for crane and equipment rental in the Southeast for over 30 years. They have a fleet of cranes ranging from 2.5 tons to 500 tons. CraneWorks also offers trained and certified operators and riggers to make sure the job is done right. Locations in Birmingham, Nashville, Mobile, and Huntsville. Visit craneworks.com for more info.
Thanks, Andy. We'll catch up with you next week.
Guys, have a great day. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Andy Burcham, bringing it.
Woo.
First visit of the season. Excited. I like the energy. Let's go back to some of what Andy said in reference to the Auburn running back situation, the Auburn quarterbacks, just kind of get our thoughts on those. But first, Greg, tell our listeners about Polar Bear Services, because it is warm outside.
Well, it's been a one-stop shop for me for so many different things around the house. Plumbing, electrical, they do an amazing job with that, but it's the HVAC system that is always put to the test this time of year, man. It's unbelievable how hot it's been the last few days. My home is about as comfortable as it's ever been because we have been proactive and making sure everything would be running smoothly this summer, because we brought Polar Bear Services out in June, make sure everything was running smoothly. Then we're good to go. Do it again before things turn a little cold here in a couple months. Just be proactive, be out in front of it, so your home heating system won't be put to the test when the weather starts to turn. They're always so reliable. Weston's done a great job of building this company on a foundation of trust and integrity. Always greatly appreciate the service that we get from them. And I especially appreciate how quickly they respond and the quality of the work they do around the home. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
All right, when we come back, more on the Auburn quarterback, running back situations, and an all-time member of the name team in college football. Next, right here on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, and three-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.